if not won it themselves. So, but TT Esports, they're obviously a solid team themselves, and very deserving of their victory at the same time, Trev.
Yeah, I think they, obviously they played much more solid than the Legion squad.
Yeah.
And if anything, I think they had a couple of the big throw moments, especially there in the mid, diving way past when they needed to, and the eventual quad kill coming out for Dark Lady at that stage of the game is always very, very scary. But it doesn't matter. They already had a very substantial lead. I do think, though, as I mentioned before, that they could have abused that Nymph porch just a little bit more if they're very perceptive and seeing that nobody had, well, very little people had homecoming stones. They could abuse that advantage or abuse that knowledge and really just kind of trade towers. And again, I said trading at that stage of the game when you're down is always an optimal decision. So, but overall, TT Esports just simply played way better. I liked their draft and laning much better as well. And so. We'll see if Jungle Divas can switch something up here for the better.
Yes, we will. With that said, game number 2 has officially started. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We got TT Esports this time on the Legion side, and of course PUDG on the Hellborn side. And with that said, just kind of a quick note, it is on a US West, technically US Central server with the pings and whatnot, but anyway, you look at the blind bans here, and this is a very, very rare occasion. It's not too often we see this. Both Jerizai and Ophelia blind banned by both teams here. So only 2 blind bans instead of possible 4 blind bans. As a result of that, I don't know if I've actually ever seen that, to be honest, in Lockbang. I know we've had a couple of cases of 3 being banned, but never really 2.
It's kind of funny. No, it was Tundra Jerizai, I think, was the heroes I say are going to be the most frequently banned if you're the Hellborn position. But yeah, that's very, very interesting. Tundra, that being said, is on the board. I know TT Esports does run him from time to time when he's available. It's not like one of those teams that just doesn't pick him up, although I could be wrong because they do some kind of crazy things. But yeah, anyway, again, we're starting to see a very, very safe lock yet again. Bubbles, Glacius, and Pharaoh. Now the locks are there available for Slicks. We'll have to see what he does. I'm predicting something crazy here.
You know what?
I feel it. I can feel it.
About to say the same thing, especially with TT Esports. They're up 1-0. This is a best of the 3 series, so I'm not saying they want to throw this game by any means, but be more willing to try something a little bit different, and especially with a team like TT Esports. It seems like Slicks being a captain and everything, he seems like just that kind of player, but maybe not. We are going to see a play, Grider Valkyrie. There is a chance at the regular picking stage, so don't worry just yet, Trout. There's still a chance. Aluna is going to be the final lock. So yeah, you look at this lock pool, just like the first game. Very, very sound and powerful lock pool. We'll see what happens now in the banning phase here.
Very, very safe lock pool. But Luna is that final lock coming out from Mega Beaver. There's the Miraxis ban coming out from Slicks. 5 more bans to go. And, we'll have to wait and see if maybe they want to do some kind of respect bans here. Draconis was banned last game. It was one of the only of those hard carries that was banned. Right now, all of them are available, being Silhouette, Mage Bane, Draconis, and Darkly. There's the Pebbles ban coming out from Mega Beaver. I know that Slicks loves to play Pebbles. I know, especially when he gets frustrated in games. He's like, just give me Pebbles, let me win the game. And just first pick Pebbles no matter what. But there's the Pebbles ban coming out from Mega Beaver.
Yeah, we did talk about in the interview. You mentioned Dr. Repulsor has been played from time to time over here. I think Tjor, he was saying, the one to play it for their team. And then you got a hero like Moon Queen, as you mentioned, is a hero that they've been playing lately. So, something like that over here from PUDG, perhaps. To maybe kind of go more of their style, just trying to match up against TT Esports here. But again, they had their impressive moments. I mean, they made the quarterfinals for a reason. As we talked about, they defeated Panties Listed in the group stages to help them get here. So it's not like just because this is a newer team that it's a team that's kind of a joke being here and just whatever. I mean, you cannot overlook a team like this. They definitely gave TT Esports run for their money in the first game. So we'll see how they manage to play here in the second game. The bans following now, we got Fade, Tundra, and Polywog Priest with 1 more ban to go. Of course, that's going to be coming out from Mega Beaver here over for PUDG. We'll see what it is. But so far, okay, there you go. Yeah, Draconis is going to be the final ban. But once again, we see Dark Lady, Mage Bane, Silhouette all open, and of course, as always, some strong possibilities out there. I
think Tempest is going to get first picked here. Yep.
Oh, wow, yeah. Speaking of him, he was a blind ban last game, I believe. So,
yeah, Tempest was kind of the obvious choice there. Ophelia was gone. And it would just make for very, very easy lanes, picking a Tempest right here. Going to go with that pseudo tri-lane short lane. But, of course, I said before, the TT Esports does like to run from time to time as that Suicide Tempest. It does work. But I don't think it's as strong as a Jungling Tempest because Jungling Tempest farms pretty much faster than anyone in the game. It just farms so strong, so fast. you're also able to apply pressure on either mid or the short lane, whatever you decide to do. And then it also gives you that pushing potential, as well as a very, very late game presence. And there's a Witch Slayer Moon Queen. Actually, in the interview, Mega Beaver said that they like to run Moon Queen even more so than Doctor.
Yeah.
So there it is. There's that Moon Queen pickup.
That's going to be intriguing to see here, to say the least, from PUDG. Because Moon Queen, you've talked about it. I'll reiterate it. I mean, she's definitely may not be the strongest starting carry type hero, and of course with that very short range may not be the most effective, but if you can manage to take her into the middle and tend to the late game stage, she will absolutely wreck your base and your team when it comes to that glaive ability or the multi-strike ability. And with that and her aura stacking and just in general just such a powerful carry style hero. So, but it's getting to that point is what can possibly be the difficult part. Magnus and Engineer are going to be the final two regular picks here from TT Esports on the other hand to go with TteS, and that's speaking a lot of AoE synergy to say the least over there coming out from TT Esports. So I want to see if I would love to see if they pick up Blitz, man. I mean, you see, obviously you said in the old chat there, I think that was more of a kind of a joke, but Warbeast is actually going to be the final pick. So interesting picks here for PUDG specifically. I
like Warbeast because TteS isn't the most aggressive jungler. He can be very aggressive. He can roam around just a little bit, but I like that. If you have a very strong Warbeast player, I actually think Warbeast should be picked up a lot more. I think he's very, very strong. He offers so much if you're active with that ultimate right when you hit level 6. But I actually really do like that pick. Now, there is some aggression already coming out with Magnus Engineer. That's scary to play against. But Bryce actually mentioned Warbeast is very, very good against Engineer because while you do get Purge out of the ultimate, it does not reduce your movement speed at all. You still get max movement speed.
Yeah.
And as well as with the Warbeast minion, or the Hounds, I should say, you can very, very quickly kill the Engineer ultimate. So Warbeast is actually quite a good hero against Engineer.
Yeah, very true. That actually makes a lot of sense. So that's definitely a benefit for them. But man, look at TT Esports with AoE synergy up the wazoo. If they finish with Bubbles here, okay, I guess it's going to be Valkyrie, but still, I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of team fight potential that TT Esports has there on the table. And then they got Valkyrie thrown in there as the that kind of a semi carry to kind of compete with against this Hellborn team. So TT Esports definitely a strong makeup themselves, but PUDG, they got a little bit of a unique kind of twist to them, especially with that Moon Queen. They finished things off with Pharaoh even, so I'm intrigued to see what PUDG brings to the table as we're kind of hoping for. It seems like we kind of got that here going into game number 2 now.
I actually like both lineups. These are very, very fun lineups, and they can work. They have a lot of potential. Specifically with TT Esports, they can do a lot of different things. At first, I was thinking, the very obvious Plague Rider, Suicide Top, dual lane bottom with Valk Mag, and maybe a solo Engineer, but they could actually go a straight up tri-lane with something like a remake vote is successful. But if I can remember correctly, they could easily go a tri-lane, say something like a Valk Mag Engineer, and then go like a solo Plague and a solo Tempest. It's not uncommon to have a solo Plague even mid. It still works.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of versatility with that lineup, and then also the Hellborn squad, they have very, very good heroes as well. They have lots of late game. Their lanes are going to be working out just fine for them. A Witch Slayer, I would assume is going to go mid, is going to be very, very strong as well. So we'll have to wait and see what they decide to do. But I do like both sides. Very, very fun heroes to watch.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of seeing that AoE synergy. I mean, if I wasn't obvious enough there when they selected their lineup.
Yeah.
All throughout history, I think when it comes down to it, as far as, I obviously been doing this casting thing for quite a while now, about 2.5 years here with Heroes of Newerth, and I think still one of the most entertaining things to watch is just the beautiful team fight where everything connects. You get that TteS ultimate, a Magnus eruption. In this case, I mean, you just get it all connected together. The Plague goo bouncing around, they just all evaporate in the midst of it all. It's just such a beautiful thing to watch when it comes to watching Heroes of Newerth. So it's just gorgeous out there, let me tell you. So yeah, that's always awesome to see. But I love the uniqueness of PUDG's lineup, and as you said, they definitely have a lot of potential themselves. And I'll say this much, if it happens to take it in the late game, I mean, PUDG definitely has a good lockdown on the late game stage, that's for sure. So I can't wait to see what they do here. Again, they're down 1-0, but it seems like that this is definitely, despite it being somewhat unique, a comfortable lineup for them, especially with that Moon Queen, as he even stated going into it. It seems to be a kind of a carry hero that others don't pick, but they like to pick up for themselves. So we do have the remake happening here in the all-pick mode, and there we go. It looks like they are good now as far as who they are going to be playing. So yeah, it was just a matter of a late swap there that didn't go through, unfortunately, which is why we remade. But here we are now in game number 2, just about to commence. with the final couple of ready-ups coming out. So laning phase, though, that is going to be fun to watch as well to see where either side ultimately goes. As you talked about with TteS Esports, is it going to be kind of that tri-lane setup, or are we going to see more of the Tempest jungle with a pseudo tri-lane instead? We'll see.
Yeah, TteS Esports could do a lot of different things with that lineup as far as laning goes. They could go solo Magnus and go dual lane Valk Plague, or even dual lane Valk Engineer. And actually, it's going to be a farming Magnus, so where is he going to go? I'm not quite sure. It's probably going to be a solo.
It's Moravis, yeah.
It's going to be a solo mid Magnus there. And then an Engineer Valkyrie lane bottom, so a pseudo tri-lane bottom with that Tempest, and then still the Plague Rider top. So yeah, again, some different things coming out. They would rather see that Magnus get a little bit of farming and solo experience. And are we seeing a level 1 Kongor?
Oh my God, we are. I saw that the last second, right as you noticed it, and it makes sense. I mean, Pharaoh's obviously really good for this with a Hellfire. Warbeast is also pretty powerful, especially, and he did choose to go the Battle Cry, actually, which it gives his teammates that rallying effect. So, this is going to be interesting, though, because TteS Esports are hiding here, waiting to see if there's a possible ward placement attempt, but if they just so happen to maybe try to check this area to go, oh, here comes Engineer, here comes, he plays the word aside, and then he turns around. So no big deal. You're not going to spot this, and it looks like we are going to see a level 1 Kongor coming out from PUDG. It's just one of those things. I mean, it kind of makes sense once they're actually doing it, but initially you're just like, nah, they wouldn't do that. Now, are they going to spread out the experience? No, they're not. They're all going to hit level 2 right here, and a Token of Life will be picked up. It looks like a Witchslayer trying to get it. There we go. Witchslayer with a Token of Life, and I guarantee you TteS Esports is like, what? What just happened there? Yeah, what happened?
That was actually really well done. Like, I really like the idea of using the Battle Cry over the Hellhounds, because the Hellhounds will make Kongor constantly stomp, and they'll just get demolished and actually do more damage to you. And so that actually worked out really, really well. I didn't see what Moon Queen leveled up, but I'm pretty sure she did level up that Lunar Glow.
It was the Lunar Glow, yes.
Yeah, and that's a smart decision as well. Wow, very, very interesting, innovative. I don't know if they had that idea going into this game. That's one thing that you can maybe think about or speculate, but very, very good idea nonetheless, and it was very, very successful.
Yeah, it worked out very well. Of course, I mean, I know we've seen this a couple of times. I believe I've asked you before, but how much of an impact is this? I mean, the fact that they get a start at level 2 compared to the level 1s of the Legion team, they have a Token of Life on Witch, so he's now even level 3 on top of that. How big of an impact is it?
It's huge. I don't remember who said this, which caster or which competitive player that I was talking to with about this, but someone made a very bold statement and said, if you get a level 1 Kongor, you should not lose the game under any circumstances if you play it correctly.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of validity to that. Actually, Witchslayer decides he wants to use his token early, but no, he's going to get very, very low there. But it gives you so much. It basically makes you win all of your lanes instantly.
Yeah.
Even Pharaoh right now in this bottom lane, if he decided, he did get Hatchet. So he's going to get a lot of CS as well. I'm looking at CS as 4 and 2, so it's quite even with Valkyrie. I do see a very interesting lane with the dual lane Magnus and Engineer in the mid. I don't necessarily really agree with that. I think you should crush your bottom lane and just let your mid player go one-on-one, depending who it is. Now that being said,
I switched to Witchslayer, yeah.
I think that's why I think it should have been a support Magnus in the bottom lane, which I hate, but I don't like this lane right here. I think you should have a farming Engineer in this case. We'll have to wait and see how it pans out. Once Engineer and Magnus do get the levels, it's going to be much more effective. But you're looking at, this Witchslayer should be level 3, not 4.
Yeah.
So that's where Kongor comes into play. Especially in the top lane, too, with Moon Queen getting those extra levels. Once she gets especially level 5, that Lunar Beam is going to do, the Moon Beam is going to do so much chip damage to this Plague Rider that it's probably going to just force him out of this lane. But that being said, Plague Rider actually hasn't taken any harass right now. Still has 6 tangos, or 6 Runes of the Blight, as well as that health potion.
Yeah, and I want to go back to Witchslayer real quickly. He just got his bottle. He bottled up the double damage during that spawn bottom. So yeah, this is a fantastic start here, no doubt, for Palis. I'm going to go with Palis. Playing this Witchslayer here. And again, the other crazy thing is that he has a Token of Life, so he can afford to play even a little bit more aggressive than he normally may want to against an Engineer Magnus combination. We see right here, Magnus stuns in. There's the Keg stun, expect the turret. The 4th of July turret comes out of Witchslayer, could possibly fall. He misses the stun on a Magnus. He got Engineer though. There he goes. He goes down, but hey, he's going to come right back up. Now Magnus Mace done again. There we go. So they're going to try to reset this, and this could actually work out right here. Witchslayer will fall, and Bloodlust kill will happen in favor of TteS Sports. So very well played right there between Leon Black and who was that? That was Moravis, of course, on Magnus, using those bottle charges and getting enough mana for another Lava Surge stun for the eventual Bloodlust kill.
I mean, I hate to take it away from them, but honestly, I feel like they just did exactly what they needed to do. Like, they just used their spells. And Witchslayer was just standing. I mean, he just suicided himself too far away that was just really, really silly, honestly, by a Witchslayer. But nonetheless, they get a Bloodlust kill, and that's good for them. Witchslayer's still going to be, well, he's still level 4, so he's going to get level 6 relatively soon. But that was just simply very, very silly.
Yeah.
The bottle was given to Leon Black to maybe catch that spot out that room, but it is actually spawning bottom. Maybe TeTeS can pick it up before the Witchslayer, but it's not the biggest deal in the world for Witchslayer, as he already does have a lot of mana, or full everything, actually, with that double damage rune. And actually, Slick's doing a lot of damage to this Pharaoh. Pharaoh actually in a lot of trouble. The arrow does hit! Oh my god! And a kill coming out for Slicks here in this bottom lane against this Pharaoh, who is up a level and farm.
That was a very good placed arrow by Slicks, and the big reason being, Ultimate Defend only had one direction to go. He could not sidestep to the right because of the trees being there, and so it was literally impossible for him to, so he could only go left, but the arrow placement was so perfect enough that even if he went left, as we saw, it was still going to hit him. So yeah, just very well placed by Slicks right there, and eventually gets another kill even coming out for TteS Sports. So what was a level 1 Conqueror, and as you even said that bold statement of you really should not even lose the game after level 1 Conqueror, depending if you play correctly, well, there's that big disclaimer for a reason, if you play correctly. And right now, I don't know if PUDG is definitely taking the best advantage of it, because the couple of deaths that have happened, specifically the Witchslayer one, the Bloodlust kill, who had the token of life, and then of course at the bottom lane, not the greatest use of that level 1 Conqueror kill. Middle lane again though, yeah, Witchslayer is probably going to drop right here. He gets a Graveyard Sun off, but the Magnus Engineer is just becoming a little bit too much for him to handle now. Yeah,
I mean, I mentioned this lane, and the levels really do dictate just how strong this lane is. At the very beginning, it looked like they were kind of not playing it as aggressively, but hey, they played it correctly. I mean, they can't do that much until they get the levels up on them, and now it's going to be a disaster for Witch. I mean, Witch really won't even be able to show his face in this lane at all. Unless he's at completely max distance. Right now, he's really just got to soak up until he gets to level 6 and maybe gank with that. But that's just really unfortunate. It's kind of a wasted token. It's kind of an unfortunate mid lane here for the Witchslayer. Now, top lane, they are trying to do maybe a little bit of a push. This Warbeast actually is level 6 and does have level 3 Hounds, as well as he went 3-1-1-1. So that's a very fast level 6, and you got to attribute that to that Conqueror kill. Plague Rider with a natural deny, it's always very, very good to push against that. I did miss a kill actually in the mid lane during that push, where Palace does get the kill. I'm assuming no, he didn't even use the silver bullet. So it just looked like a lot of diving coming out, some unfortunate play, and Leon Black does go down to Palace. So
yeah,
did you catch any of that?
I did not. I was watching the top just like you, watching this crazy push that was happening, but I'm guessing it was just a little bit too much of a dive. I'm sure the tower assisted right there as far as helping with the kill, but yeah, he got the experience before because he got the kill first, so that actually worked out pretty well, I believe, for Witchslayer in the end. At the top lane, and perhaps a little bit too much push, because in comes Magnus with an invisibility rune activated. Great Lava Surge line stun. Will that set up a kill? It will set up one kill on Iglesias right there, but both Warbeast and Moon Queen are going to be able to get away in the end. So minimal sacrifices there at the very least coming out from PUDG after that tower kill, but we are already looking at a 5-1 hero kill advantage in favor of TteS Sports. And what was a good experience lead in the beginning of this game, specifically because of that level 1 Conqueror kill coming out from PUDG, it's now even in favor of TteS Sports. And I think that's a big stat to look at right there, knowing that they got a level 1 Conqueror, they're working with the level 1 Conqueror here for the Hellborn side. So we're now 7.5 minutes in, but you know, looking at a bigger picture at the same time, you do have a Warbeast and a Moon Queen who are farming fairly well in this game right now. So that is definitely a sign of life there for PUDG.
Yeah, definitely. At the same time, you do have TeTeS, who's getting obviously uncontested free farm in the jungle here. And one thing you mentioned that you were really excited about when this lineup was forming for TteS Sports is just the power of all their spells, especially once they use their ultimates. Actually, I missed a kill, but Slick's get taken off. I keep missing these, but he does get the kill using that Wrath of the Pharaoh. onto Slicks, and he did. And then again, mid is happening action all over the place. Moravius gets taken out by Mega Beaver, so some rub coming out with assistance from that. Actually, didn't even get credit for the assistance, but Pito, I don't even know how you say that, I apologize, but he's playing that War Beast.
Bottom lane, there is more action even. Pharaoh trigger with a TteS ultimate, going to hold him in place, but I don't even know if it's going to be enough for the kill. The shield doing so much work from right here. He fakes the port. I guess I say fake the port, but I think that was more of just a panic mode right there. Yeah, fakes the homecoming stone. That's going to throw them off. No, he's good catch, though, in the end. And down he goes. Now, Port coming in the middle lane in the meantime. They're trying to push this tower. Magnus comes in. Good graveyard stun. They need to commit to something, though. Is it going to be a tower kill? It's nice tonight at the last second from Engineer. But nobody will die in the end, it looks like, at least for now. But Glacius will need to get away. He's going to maybe run into Magnus, so is Magnus going to find him? Yes, he is. Great blind sub by Moravius. I don't even think he noticed, though. Glacius is dropping here, and it's just a matter of time before he eventually falls. One more auto attack, and there we go. Down goes Magnus. Plague Goo coming out in the meantime at the top, but another bounce. No, it's not going to go back to Moon Queen. Oh, it goes back to Moon Queen. She went back up a little bit, and she took the second damage, but she's going to port out, be fine. But in the meantime, the bottom tower going down in favor of TteS. This game is just crazy chaos here early on between TteS Esports and Dendy's Jungle Devos.
Yeah, I mean, I really underestimated the power of this Magnus Engineer lane. It's doing so much damage, but I mean, at the same time, I really feel like Witch was kind of silly and getting caught in it at first blood, and just, of course, obviously snowballed as a lane like that usually does. And then the Tempest Ultimate, a good placement. Well, I should just say, just the fact that he's using it is good enough. It needs to be used. There's no reason for it to be off cooldown, so getting a good kill on Pharaoh, that was a really funny port, but at the same time, little things like that do matter. Not only is it just wasted 135 gold, but when you die early on like this, the spawn times are only like, you know, they're very, very short, maybe like 20 seconds, something like that. And that's a lot of time wasted that you could be using to maybe port and get a counter kill or something like that. So every little bit counts.
Oh, Magnus in the meantime in the middle lane, the stun at the last second, and that was because of a very well-placed keg by Leon Black right there, saving Magnus, no doubt. Witch in the meantime taking some pressure here from a hasted Valkyrie, being played by Slicks, but Payless will be fine in the end. So good turnaround, though, by the leading team, not for a kill necessarily, but again, a great save on a Magnus, who I thought for sure was dead, but again, the well-placed keg stun eventually saved him. We got an interesting goal per minute chart, because you look at across, I mean, really for PUDG, it got a solid War Beast, a solid Pharaoh, and the Moon Queen not doing too bad here, but then you look at the Legion side, they're just doing that much better between Tempest, Magnus, and Valkyrie, and even Engineer and Plague Rider not doing too shabby. Everyone at least 200 gold per minute or higher, so with the way the stats are looking, you would almost think that TT Esports was the one with the level 1 Conqueror, honestly. Yeah. With the way things are going, so.
I don't know why this Moon Queen CS is so low. I don't know if she's been missing CS, but this is very, very low. Now, yes, of course, she was against the Plague Rider denying, but that would not be enough. 40 and 11 minutes, basically having a free lane. Free lane meaning you should have no harass coming out at all when you're having especially help from Glacius or whoever, or maybe War Beast helping push that tower.
I'm sorry, Pharaoh misses the ultimate big time at the bottom lane. Engineer ultimate coming out for the meantime. Magnus taking the hex, but Pharaoh's dropping in the midst of it all, and he will eventually go down. Calacious got picked off. Witcher just running away. He does have a silver bullet, but he's not going to be able to find the opportunity to use it. Oh, that graveyard set is disjointed at the same second by Magnus right there using the Lava Surge, and that just went horrendous there. You do see Pharaoh making a mention of the delay, unfortunately, with the ping, but that's just something, it's just, you know, an unfortunate circumstance, being an international game and all. You're just going to have to deal with it, and the inexperience kind of coming out right there. The Pharaoh, Wrath of the Pharaoh, was completely whiffed right there. It should have been a kill on Valkyrie, but that's definitely what he was referring to. So really unfortunate moment there, and you know, kind of like last game, where it seemed like PUDG definitely had their marks in the game to start amplifying and start getting better and better. You know, it's just these crucial mistakes that are just coming into play, and all of a sudden TT Esports, their gap in their lead just starts to grow big time. So PUDG is starting to fall behind, despite what looked like to be a very good start, going all the way back to, of course, that level 1 Conqueror. Now, Moon Queen, I'm guessing she's looking to finish her Whispering Helm here in the very near future, in fact. And she should have that as well as her Steam Boots and the Ring of the Teacher. So, again, solid farm. But as you said, I mean, her creep score isn't the greatest either. She's going to push this top tower, though. And unless TT Esports defends it in the near future, she may actually get it. They are going to start porting out, though. They were pushing the middle, but they're going to port top. And actually, Moon Queen needs to be a little bit careful. Oh, blind Lava Surge stun by Moravius. Completely misses, and Moon Queen will be fine, so.
Yeah, and actually, there's the images are still mid. The tower does get denied by ultimate defense, so good job there. But yeah, this Magnus engineer lane just crushed so damn hard.
Yeah.
And between the two of them, they are. I just want to say, between those two heroes, they're 6, 2, and 10. So they've done just so much damage. Each one of them has been involved in 80% of the kills, 8 out of 10. And it's just been doing work right now. I almost think it's more strong than, say, like a Luna Magnus. Because that keg stun just pushes him back. It makes it even harder to get away from the combo. It did so much damage once they got those levels and once they found which they're out of position.
Yeah.
And that's really the key into why TT Sports is doing so well this game. Yes, Valkyrie did a good job bottom, able to get a very, very fast kill onto that Pharaoh. Pharaoh was able to respond with a kill of his own, but the real deal breaker here for Jungle Devos is this lane coming out from mid, this Magnus and Engineer lane, doing so much work already.
Yeah. It definitely has been. Moravis and Leon Black, big credit for them for sure for TT Esports. So, but what I keep going back to is for PUDG, you know, now this kind of, as we talked a little bit about this the first game, how at the end there you're like, it's good to see them running more of the hard carry, you know, more of the usual setup and what's been so successful for teams like Complexity. But this is definitely more the usual TT Esports of a more aggressive style, great team fight synergy, and a very aggressive early to mid game team even. You know, with that Magnus Engineer, you know, with Valkyrie kind of being their main carry hero even in this game specifically. So for PUDG, that's where they definitely still stand a chance of, if they can just somehow manage to hold it off for long enough. I mean, definitely have the fighting power to compete here in the mid to late game stage. But with the way this game is starting, it ain't looking like that could even happen. So they're going to need to kind of slow things down a little bit. Now, Moon Queen's farming here in the jungle, but look at this Magnus just sitting right on top of her this whole time. He's been doing it for a little bit now. He still has about 25 seconds on that invisibility rune. Will it pay off in the end? I believe Engineer is heading up here as well as Valkyrie. So Moon Queen, oh, the time is coming, Moon Queen. I feel for you, buddy, but you're about to die right here. There goes the stun. The Lava Surge comes out, the eruption on top of that, and down goes Moon Queen. So we saw it coming for a good 20 seconds and eventually happened. Now the Helper team going to try to respawn. No, they're not. Instead, they're going to run around the long way, and it looks like TT Esports will be able to escape.
And all in the meantime, some push coming out from both Tempest and Plague Rider. There's the Valkyrie ultimate used as the initiation comes onto them. Warbeast is pounding in that ultimate, but there's a stun from Magnus, hits 2. There's the keg stun. Warbeast does pop that ultimate, though, and I think actually Magnus is going to be just fine as well the Hellfire gets them out of that steam bath. But yeah, they're looking really, really good. The portal key, I believe, was purchased by Moravis on that Magnus. And now you were mentioning, yes, the more hard carry style that they ran last game. I do like this lineup. It's very, very aggressive. This is more the TT Esports lineup, honestly. Very, very aggressive. Lots of stuns. Lots of team fight potential early on. Not too much late game. That's the TT Esports that I'm used to watching. The thing is, the small faults with this is that, like, say if I was watching, say, Complexity play this Hellborn side, I would see Plague Rider getting absolutely nothing. I would see him get completely dominated. I would see Pulse coming out, and I would see Rome coming out from Glacius where he could. Maybe even getting Rome out on this Valkyrie. Maybe just it doesn't matter. Just the fact that you're actively doing stuff, actively, you know, whether it's completely shutting down this Plague Rider in the suicide lane to stack in the jungle, to maybe finding a gank elsewhere, pushing a tower early. They did do that, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, look at Plague. She's level 10. Despite this is actually a lot more even than you think, considering the fact that Hellborn did get a Kongor kill. Yeah. So if they didn't, I would say that this lead would be like 7K, 10K. So.
Yeah, and that goes back to what I said earlier. It almost seems like TT Esports was the one with... If you said there was a level 1 Kongor kill in this game, a lot of people right now would be like, oh, TT Esports got level 1. No. It was PUDG, actually. Yeah. Unfortunately, they just really haven't made the best of it. So, yeah, it's obviously looking very good here for TT Esports once again, but they did have good leads like this in game number 2, or game number 1, excuse me, and it got dangerously close at a couple times when they had it. So you got to definitely keep that in mind here. But another tower push happening, as Riser actually gets credit for the kill right there. There's a couple of heroes around for the Hellborn team, but I guess they just weren't able to get close enough to put the deny, and maybe just feared for their lives even. Of course, Magnus, knowing that he has that portal key, he has showed it by now. And he's level 11 on top of that, actually. So he has a level 2 eruption. And for still only being 17.5 minutes in, that's going to do so much damage if he gets off a good eruption on, say, inside of a Tempest Ultimate, who now has a portal key as well. So this definitely goes back to that fact that I brought up earlier, as you were talking about, of just that AoE synergy is a-coming now from TteS Esports, and if you're PUDG, you really have to keep that in mind and keep completely spread out, and it's going to make it very difficult as far as your positioning is concerned. Moon Queen is doing everything that she can, though, as well as Warbeast for that matter, as far as just doing farming, and Warbeast, I mean, he has 370 gold per minute. He actually is fairly impressive, and he's getting close to a shrunken head, as I'm guessing Moon Queen, that's going to be her next item of choice as well. What kind of an impact do you think Shrunken Heads are going to make in this game?
It's going to make a huge impact, but I think it's just it's a little too late. Shrunken Head's not good against Tempest. Obviously, that Tempest hole still holds you into place. But action coming out onto the Glacius. Glacius could have easily... Oh, no, the freeze was actually down. I missed that. My apologies. But Maravis is a very easy solo kill onto Mega Beaver using that eruption ability. But right now, this is what I'm talking about. When I said Warbeast is very, very good when he's active, very active with that ultimate. Yes, I did see him try, but honestly, if you're not able to connect and get kills, it doesn't matter. He's 0-0-0.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there are only 3 kills on the Hellboard team, so something else is going wrong. But I just think that they were way too passive this game. Also, the biggest factor, I didn't touch on this earlier, but Moon Queen has such little farm. She's only got 87 CS in a basically completely free lane, as well as the tower being killed, and having those double stacks to work with in that main pull that she just cleared out right there.
Yeah.
Her CS is just way too low.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned last game, yeah, they were at a deficit, but they would have Signs of Life. They did also have a Pebbles with a portal key. They did also have a Dark Lady who was farming so fast. Now,
True.
you compare that right now. If they're in a deficit like this, the only way I feel like they could come back is if this Moon Queen had like 450 GPM, but she's not even close to that.
Yeah, I am taken back too at how low that is. And again, I don't know if it's just been simply missing creep kills or whatever, but the fact that he's just barely squeaking at 300 gold per minute, and he's 0-1-0, and now 20 minutes into the game is definitely, it is a little bit of kind of a head scratcher there. But TteS, unfortunately, on that Moon Queen, just really not able to get the best of farm for whatever the reason, and now we see a little bit of a push coming out from TteS Esports. They already took the first tower down up here, and they're going to go for the second one. Again, they do have those couple of portal keys. They are ready to make some team fights happen, and I don't know if PUDG is ready for it, so they're not even going to remotely attempt to try to defend this tower up here, as well. They're going to use a vulnerability at the last second, but there's no point to even go in. There it goes. They are pushing the bottom tower in the meantime, and it looks like they're at least going to get that, but a 2-for-1 tower exchange, and TteS Esports, they're probably not going to stop. I mean, they're just going to go right into the base right here. So really, if you're PUDG, you have a big decision to make now. They're going to start porting back. But again, this is such a powerful teamfight team for TteS Esports. You have to be so careful in picking and choosing your fights. Moon Queen will have a level 2 solar or moon finale here. So that's some positive news. And of course, you have Pharaoh with the level 2 Wrath of the Pharaoh initiation. Maybe, and there we go. In fact, he jumps on a Magnus. Where's the follow-up? He's going to be able to lava search out. And that's definitely a big deal. Tempest, remember, he does have his portal key waiting for the moment. Pharaoh gets picked off. There goes a jump from Warbeast with a Shrunken Head activity. He's taking some shield breaker damage, though, from Valkyrie. The Tempest only pulling in Glacius. Magnus jumps in a great eruption, lava surge combination. Warbeast will fall. They'll Plague bounce once, I believe, but Moon Queen is also going to get caught. The Moon Finale comes out, but it's not nearly enough damage for any kills. In fact, Magnus barely lives. Nice disjoint at the last second, and a genocide coming out here for TteS Esports. So, you know, Dendy's Jungle Devos, they're doing what they can. They're trying to fight here, but it's clearly just too much to handle in favor of TteS Esports.
That was a really good initiation there, or counter initiation, I should say, from Magnus. After Lava Surge out from that Wrath of the Pharaoh, he came back in and got a very amazing stun. I was really actually Ghost and jumps on the Glacius. Not a chance in the world for Glacius, unfortunately. But got a very, very good double stun there on top of that ultimate, and I didn't even think that was going to hit 2 heroes, but it did, and it did work there. So the racks are down. Lot of huge uphill battle here for Jungle Devos. It's going to be really difficult for them. There's basically no farm on anybody, or there's just no farm on that team really at all, except for maybe this Warbeast, but this is not a one-man team. He cannot do anything by himself at this point. Yeah, it's going to be extremely difficult. I really don't see them coming back into this one.
Yeah, you know, if you are going to initiate as Pharaoh, Magnus is probably the worst target to jump. I mean, for that reason, as you saw right there. I mean, he got them up the walls. He's like, you're trapped. Oh wait, you can lava surge out. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, it's not the greatest target to choose here against this Legion team. So that also didn't really help to the situation at hand for PUDG, of course. So, big lead now definitely coming out from TTE Sports. And Conqueror is up, of course, and it will be the second Conqueror kill because it's a level 1 Conqueror. So, you got to keep that in mind as well. And knowing that a possible bananas at the third Conqueror kill could be coming in the well, not really in the near future, I guess, but just keeping in mind that already he's been killed once. Middle lane, Pharaoh pushing up a little bit right here, but you see both Engineer and Magnus. This has been the murderous mop hits, and they're going to go through once again. Pharaoh's going to take that Kexon now. However, it wasn't the greatest Kexon to push them forward, and I don't think Magnus or Engineer wanted that, but a nice tablet out, actually, right before the Witchslayer Graveyard Sound will keep him alive. Magnus, I mean, he's got that. He's the one with the tablet.